All right, let's jump right in. We're going to unpack this really powerful personal story about overcoming just impossible odds and how the simplest choices can completely change the course of a life.
So this is the story of a man who, by pretty much all accounts, was set up to fail. And he's totally upfront about it. His starting line was so far behind everyone else's, the odds were just stacked impossibly high against him.
But fast forward to today, and his life could not be more different. We're talking major success on all fronts, from real estate to Broadway investing to writing books. So the question is, right, how did he get from there to here? What in the world happened in between?
To really understand this journey, you have to feel the full weight of that contrast. I mean, the massive gap between where he started and the incredible success he has today. And to find the answer, we have to go back. We're going back to his teenage years, a time when his entire world just completely fell apart.
So get this, at 14, his father dies. The trauma from that sends his mother into a severe nervous breakdown. In the span of a single week, he basically lost both parents. Can you even imagine that? Having to arrange your own dad's funeral at 14? So by 16, still legally a kid, he actually petitioned the court to become an adult, just so he could survive on his own.
So there he is, alone, and now legally responsible for himself. He ended up finding support in what some people might consider the most unlikely of places.
These were the programs that literally kept him from going under. You know, SNAP, what we call food stamps, that meant he could eat. Section 8 housing gave him a roof over his head. And then a little later, grants and state aid made college possible, which, by the way, was a decision he made not just for education but for survival. Because, hey, a dorm room was a whole lot better than the streets.
And he is so clear about this, he doesn't see any of this support as a crutch or some kind of handout. For him, these programs were the absolute bedrock, the foundation that allowed him to just catch his breath and maybe, just maybe, start to think about building some kind of future.
And boom, this is where you see that ripple effect perfectly. That one single real estate class, which he could only take because those grants got him into college in the first place, that was the tiny seed that his entire successful career grew out of. You see? Without the lifeline, that opportunity just never happens.
Okay, so that's his incredibly powerful story. But now let's pivot from his personal journey to the much bigger challenge that he argues we're all facing today.
Look, he gets it. He is keenly aware of the political tug-of-war over these programs. He acknowledges both sides of the coin, the view that, they create dependency, and the counter view that they are an absolutely essential lifeline for people who are just trying to get back on their feet.
But based on his own lived experience, his conclusion is crystal clear. He admits it. Sure, some people abuse the system. He's seen it himself as a landlord. But his whole point is that you don't destroy a life-saving tool just because a few people happen to misuse it.
And this is the really worrying part. He points to the hard facts. The very lifelines that saved him are fraying or disappearing entirely for the next generation. And at the exact same time, other costs, like healthcare, are just skyrocketing. It's kind of creating a perfect storm for anyone who finds themselves in need.
So if the systems that once saved him are getting weaker, what's the solution? Well, that brings us to his final, and honestly, probably his most important idea.
This is the core message, right here. He argues that it doesn't matter what governments or systems do or don't do. Human beings can be the lifeline for one another. The responsibility and really the opportunity, it shifts to us. And he's not just talking the talk, he is walking the walk. His company partnered with Feeding America, and the impact is just staggering. Because of their network, every single dollar donated provides 10 meals. I mean, that's compassion with incredible efficiency. It's amazing.
And this is the big idea he wants to leave us with. It's not about one person trying to solve massive systemic problems. It's about the cumulative impact of all of us, of individuals, choosing to act with kindness in the face of those problems.
And he shows us exactly how to do it with these really simple, powerful actions that, anyone can take. These aren't grand, heroic gestures. They're small, intentional acts of humanity that can change everything for someone who's struggling. It really just comes down to choosing to see the person, not just the problem.
And that's what he leaves us with. This question turns his story from just something we listen to into a challenge about our own actions. We can't fix every broken system, but who will you be a lifeline for today? It's a call to find our own way to rewrite someone's day, someone's hope, and maybe, just maybe, their future.